Greetings, everyone. This is Pamela, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, we're kicking off day 4 of the 5-day podcast lead challenge for the month of October 2024. And this is going to be a good one. So let's get started. Where is it? Do you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So tonight is going to be a really good one. And I hope that you guys did the brainstorming, the soul searching, the homework I gave you, the action steps I gave you from yesterday, because yesterday is the most important part of the entire challenge, because tomorrow we did the central point of everything, which is identifying zone of genius. And everything's gonna go from the zone of genius to determine the pain point you're gonna solve and address, not only to your podcast, but also to your business, your offer, and all that good stuff. And then that pain point is also determine the very specific person you can help at the highest level. And today we're going to take your zone of genius and create your GodFather Irresistible Offer. We're going to do that. We're going to also dive deeper into the pain point that your podcast, your business, your offer are going to address. And I'm going to introduce to you a very powerful principle of business that took my business to the next level. And that is the quantifiable, some can say qualifiable, measurable, and results. We're going to go to that in a moment. So, yeah, and that's going to be a very good one. We're going to not only brainstorm together, but also we're going to create your offer. At the end of tonight's call, you will have your offer. It's very straightforward. Are you guys excited? Let me hear you. All right. Good. So the agenda, same as usual. Let's get straight. But before we dive into today's content, any question from yesterday? And yesterday we had a very good one, because we had not only the zone of genius, but we also had a powerful expert talk by Jordan and Mark on LinkedIn. So any question about, maybe not LinkedIn, because best to ask them, but about identifying zone of genius that we did yesterday. Any questions? Let me see if anyone else is here. Okay, every relationship is one. It's within the child, within all this. Find what form of love language you are targeting and realize the one. Absolutely. Love that, Michael. Welcome, brother. Okay, David works well. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Where do I find the bonus sheets? What bonus sheets? Oh, you mean the slides? The top?
No, there was a bonus thing that you were doing.
Yes.
That you used to do $1,000 for
Yes.
$1,000.
Yes. I'll share that tonight. And if we have enough time, I might even teach it live to you today, if we have time. Because
Awesome.
we have no expert guests. So I'll not only give that to you in the Facebook group later, but I might as well go to it if we have time.
Awesome.
It's going to be there. You're very welcome. So, guys, bring your questions. Welcome, Quizzy brother. Glad to have you with us. One question I have: how do you guys find the quality of my sound now that I have a new microphone? Is it better than the previous quality of sound?
Yeah, I think it was kind of glitchy before. It seems like it's smoother now.
Yeah. I got
I
the
was kind of the same thing. Smoother.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. But it's pretty heavy. I wonder how I'm going to be able to carry that with me when I'm always traveling, but I'll see what I can do. Anyways, I'm glad you guys can hear me better. Guys, come on, bring your questions from yesterday, because yesterday was very important. Any questions?
Is it terrible to ask for just a very brief, like, do you have a special formula for finding one's zone of genius?
Yes, there is 4 ways to identify your zone of genius. The first way is to look at your professional background. And if you look at the slides from yesterday, there's an entire slide on that, but I will summarize it here. And the first way is to look at your professional background. Let's say you spend any amount of time in any industry, in a career, 5, 10, 20 years. That's the first obvious place to start because you understand intimately that industry, you speak the language, you know the pain point, and so on and so forth. That's the first way. The second way is to look if you have any natural, God-given innate talent. Some people are amazing with numbers, some people with fast reading, memory, some people with sports, some people with writing, some people with painting, drawing, anything like that. So if you are musical instruments, so if you have any natural God-given talent, that's another way you can build a very profitable business. There's a lot of people who are building 6, 7-figure business, teaching others how to play the piano, the guitar, run faster, hit the ball better in tennis and baseball and basketball and football and so on and so forth. These are very, sustainable businesses. The third way is if you have any high income skills, whether it's copywriting, selling, negotiating, coding, and so on and so forth. These are very powerful high income skills. The last one and the most common one, and that is if you've overcome any major life challenges yourself, whether it's abuse, trauma, tragedy, betrayal, heartbreak, financial hardships, disease, anything like that. If you overcome any of those, then these are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful places to start a business because I always say your crap is your gold. What you went through and successfully overcome yourself, others are going through right now. We're desperately looking for a guide, a big brother, big sister, to extend their hand and say, hold my hand, I'll get you out of her, so to speak. I've been there, I made it out, and so will you. This is what people are looking for. When people are looking for a coach, they're looking for someone who's just a few steps ahead of them, someone they can relate, identify, resonate, trust, and most importantly, someone is accessible and reachable. That's what people want. And people will pay for two things, transformation and speed. So if you have a skill that you can teach someone, let's say, I don't know, whatever it is, it's going to take them a year normally, and you can condense that to 30 days, jackpot. People will pay a lot of money for that. So these are the 4 ways to identify your zone of genius. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Any other questions? No. No one? All right, let's go then. Yeah, Michael, go ahead. You raised your hand. Good evening, brother.
Great evening to you and everyone here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't want to ask this question. I even had resistance to ask it. So I think it's more of an important question for me in the sense of when you have resistance, that says a lot. What about I've been told that I give too much in the sense of not knowing how to speak to the beginner me? So sometimes people feel like they have to do all this work to get to where I am or where they perceive I am, whatever we want to say that, because I'm just a reflection of themselves. However, I have challenges simplifying that in a way that's transferable through like talking to them as a kid in this way, because like I can go deep. I love going deep. And sometimes because I've been so spoiled to have deep people around me lately, that it's all I love just getting into the meat of it, right? So like what would be your tips of how to, I don't want to say the word dumb it down, but I don't know how else to simplify. How do I slow it down so the attention span can grab onto it? It doesn't have to, think about 10 things to think about the one thing that I'm talking about.
Great question. I would recommend, and this will be my answer. It's not much a matter of dumbing it down, so to speak, but rather always speaking from the heart. Speaking from the heart, being authentic, being vulnerable, because that's what people can really relate with, resonate with, and open up to. Open up their mind, their heart, and ultimately their wallets. So always, this is what I always say, never speak from a script, Don't even speak from here, but speak from here. When you speak from the heart, that's when the magic happens. And it's not really a matter of dumbing it down. If you really want to, so to speak, dumb it down, use easy language. Easy language that anyone can understand. Not big word, not fancy word, because we're not here to impress people. But just use everyday, simple words, because again, and I'm going to explain that, go to that later today. Our number one task as mentors, coaches, and activators is to educate our audience as to what is the problem they have, why the problem is here in the first place, and what's going to happen if they don't take any massive action. And once they've understood that, the next task that we have is to make them believe that they can do it, whatever it is that you're offering, and give them a taste of a small win as soon as possible so they can gain this belief, self-belief in themselves to get going, to get momentum. But to answer your question, always, brother, speak from the heart. And I know you live by that. You speak from the heart. Just keep doing that. Be you. Does that answer your question? Awesome. Awesome. Any other questions, guys, before we move on? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. So let's start with something that is very important. We mentioned that the number one reason most coaches fail to get any traction online is because they lack clarity. They want to help everyone with all of issues. I think everyone with all of issues, that's something only God can do. We're not God. Sure, we're a piece of God. So what we need to do is to focus on one very specific pain point for one specific person. And that's where the zone of genius comes into play. Now, let's take a look at the implication of a lack of clarity, and that is the cost of clarity, the cost of lack of clarity. For example, let's brainstorm. How much do you think is not having clarity in your offer costing you and your business each month? Let's take that one step further. How much per transaction is that costing you? How much money are you leaving on the table just because your messaging is not laser focused? And I want all of you guys to really reflect. You don't have to say it here, but to really think about it tonight, tomorrow, this week, to really see how you can make your offer very laser specific, laser focused. And tonight's call is going to be all about laser focusing your offer. Make it very specific because we're going to be building your offer. So that's the start. Okay, let me allow and David here. Okay. So does anyone wants to take a crack at it and just think out loud and share with us the answer to that question? How much do you think not having a laser focused offer is costing you per month, per transaction? How much money are you leaving on the table? Go ahead, Michael.
Well, like I said, great question, by the way. Like I said, yesterday, the realization that I had, and it's not that this moment made it happen. It was, I've heard this repetitive. So thank you for being that catalyst. This now version of you is ready to hear you, right? So thank you.
You're welcome.
What I got from yesterday, which ties into your question, is that I always felt like it came from the heart because I said, you know what, I don't have a script, I don't need to study, because I used to do that payment. I used to go before an event that I would speak at, and I would write like 5 pages of notes, and then the 5 pages of notes, I'd be like, okay, what's priority? Dang it, is this more priority? And then I'd be all in my head. And then when I get on the stage or whatever, I'd be like, you know what? And I would literally almost do it all the time. Just be like, you know what? Forget the notes. And then I would realize, why am I writing notes? But then you got to find the balance, which I realized you got to find the balance because now I don't have notes. But now when I share, I seem to be all over the place because when I share, I access, like higher levels of thought. It's like, oh, okay, this comes through with this. And so it's like, you got to have some structure, but be structureless. Like you got to have that surrenderless surrender, right? So the thing that I wanted to share what you said is that it's cost me thousands because of the fact that I don't look like I have structure. So someone does not believe that I could help them with their structure, even though I've structured my life to such a key point that the only thing that I am challenged with is that part.
Absolutely. I can completely resonate with that because when I did my TED talk in August, even though I always talk about speaking from the heart, but then the organizer of the TED talk, they wanted me to have a script, to have a speech and memorize a speech. And that goes against what I always teach. When I told them, listen, I can't do that because I'm the biggest proponent of speaking from the heart. And they made me understand in no uncertain terms. I had to submit a speech if I wanted to do the talk. So I said, okay, let me do a speech. So I did a speech, I memorized it, but guess what? As soon as I was standing on that stage, within the first 30 seconds, I started having a blank. And I memorized the entire thing. But then I realized I didn't panic. I said, listen, remember the structure, but keep the structure, speak from the heart. And I did a mix of that. And then everything flowed beautifully. So I can really resonate with what you said. But the structure, especially of your offer, that's what we're going to uncover tonight. That's exactly what we're going to do today. Thank you for sharing that, brother. Anyone else wants to share or comment on that, on how much their lack of clarity is costing them per transaction, per month, and how much money they're leaving on the table? Go ahead, Katana.
I know that I've left a lot on the table because with the lack of clarity, you aren't sure what your offer is. Therefore, when somebody asks you, you say, "Oh, I'll get back to you on that," and then, as human beings, we do get in the habit of not responding. So without that clarity, yeah, a lot gets left behind.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, thank you for sharing that. Let's move forward. As I mentioned earlier, briefly, our two main tasks as mentors, coaches, and a word I'm starting to really get a liking to. I don't know who inspired me by that, but he or she will know himself. Activators. Our main task is, number one, to educate our audience and really understanding what is a problem, because we don't know what we don't know. That applies to all of us, myself and all of you, all of us. Our number one task is to make them fully understand what is a problem that they are facing, why the problem is here in the first place, and then paint the problem in a very vivid way so you can really feel it, feel the pain, so that once they do, the next question in their mind is, so how do I fix this? Well, glad you ask. That's why I'm here for. Because if you go straight gun blazing at them with your offer, they would shut down and not even listen to you, because they don't know that they need you. They need your solution. Just like I said the other day, your customer has to care about the problem before they care about you, your offer, and your solution. That's very important. So our number one task is to make them understand what is a problem, why it's here in the first place, and what's going to happen if they don't take any action. And then when that happens, they will ask, so how do I fix this? Well, glad you asked. And because you're the person that's going to make them become aware of the problem and the gravity of the problem, in their mind, you become by default the solution. Do you see that, how that works? You become the solution, and then the only person they're going to be looking for fixing that is going to be you. That's your first task. Your second task, and that's the ultimate task, is to make them believe that they can achieve what you're offering. And that's what we're going to dive deeper tonight when it comes to not only crafting your offer, but especially having a quantifiable, measurable end result. Because people need to see it, believe it, wrap their head around it. Hey, I can do it. Once they can understand and see and realize and believe they can do it, then game over. The sale is done. There's no need to convince or none of that stuff. That is our two main important tasks as coaches, mentors, activators. Does that make sense, guys? All right.
Can I just play devil's advocate for a while?
Go ahead.
I am not a fan of pain point marketing. I find it to have an implicit sort of predatory kind of nature to it. And I think it's an old model, and I don't think it applies to my particular business and my particular situation as a spiritual mentor. So I'm trying to learn whatever I can in this model of yours without having to rely on pain point marketing,
Sure.
but I'm not quite seeing where that pathway is.
Mm.
I'm not sure I understand where she's coming from, because all of us have pains throughout our life, whether they're mental pains, physical pains, blocks, things that are getting in our way, no matter whether it's one of those things. So we are always going out there looking for solutions for those pains. So as a person selling a product or a service, you targeting those solutions, or AKA pain points, I don't understand why that would be perceived as not an ethical thing. It's perfectly ethical.
No, I'm not saying it's not ethical. It's just not my personal preferred way of doing things. I prefer to model the positive aspects that one can achieve without having to tie the whole conversation to the pain point. It's just my personal
Yeah, I
preference.
can see where that would work in certain aspects, but in some aspects it won't work at all if you're not targeting pain points. But I get you.
That's my problem.
Great point, guys. Great. I love this interaction. Michael, go ahead, brother.
This is a part very near and dear to my heart. So thank you for opening up that. I keep challenging your name. Lorraine, is it Lorraine or Lorraine?
It's Laurel Ann.
Laurel Ann. Thank you. Thank you. So the thing that I had to come, and I'm not saying this is you, but this is like the mechanism of the inner child within, in the experience that I've worked on, is that when I realized that I was the greatest failure in the world, I realized that I wasn't putting God or the universe first, because that pain that my clients were mirroring, I didn't want to touch on pain, and I was excusing that to escape my own pain, to escape myself. So the more that I realized that the pain that I awakened, because I didn't want to touch on the pain points either, because I'm like, I don't want to sell like them, right? But my point is this: when I realized I'm not selling them on pain, when you bring somebody awareness to the pain that they already have, like if they have cancer, excuse me for saying this, but if you see the signs and you're like, look at your tongue, I can see you have cancer. Whoa, what do you mean? And you highlight that, and then they go and find out for themselves. They can preventative measures, alternative measures. Then waiting for the last moment and be like, okay, now I'm stage 3. Now my faith is below stage 4. It's like I'm already out the door. So God, because the way that I see it is this, and this is the last thing I'll say. If someone is not willing to face their pain now, they're going to go through a crisis even deeper and greater later. And you could be the gift of gold to say, hey, this pain is small right now. And I'm not telling you what's going to happen to you, but as I could predict your future, because the law of the universe says what you resist persists. So if what you resist persists, and there's another key that says the greatest gift you can render humanity is your own self-realization. So you're really helping them become self-realized through pain as their teacher, as their best friend, as their mirror, because pain is my friend. Pain is not my threat. So just like an athlete, that it's like, you got to work out, you got to feel that pain, you got to feel that muscles, because pain is not a threat to the athlete. It's actually an alliance to prevent injury in the future. That's the basic way that I could put it. Does that help, Lori? Because I had that too.
Can I talk?
1 second, David, Elizabeth, other and first, and then your next brother. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
I may be able to add something to the table. So pain point is not my thing either. However, what I'm hearing you say, Laurel Ann, is that like when you've got the results that someone wants, there's a difference between it's the catalyst. It's actually marketing to the catalyst. So there's people that are in their pain and they want to stay in their pain, and they don't get the results anyway. So when you're marketing to people that are in the pain, the ones that want to stay in their pain never get the results. But what we want to do is we want to market to the people that are actually looking to get out of their pain. And so, what I do in my posts and stuff is I start with my results, then I talk about the pain I was in before. So you know, I'm showing that this is something that they can move towards. But there was pain before, and that now I've got the results that are outside. So the people that are in the catalyst of I'm in pain, but I actually want to move out of the pain, they're the ones that you want as clients because they want to take action, and they're the ones that are going to move the needle themselves with you supporting them. So that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you. That's awesome. Love that. David, and then who's that here? Sarah.
Okay. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm just an old fart, 60 going on 70 years old. And you know, if I want a hole, I'm just gonna dig it. I'm not gonna get a whole bunch of people around to figure out how I'm gonna dig this hole and figure it out. It's just I'm gonna dig the hole. So no disrespect. I've been in sales all my life, so and I don't understand all this terminology. And I'm asking not to be disrespectful. But if I pay you, Sarah, is it no? I don't know who was talking there. If I'm to pay you to buy a product, well, I expect you to. I buy the product. I got an issue. I got a pain in my life. I want you to settle it. So if you don't want to deal with pain in my life, then move over. I'm talking about just being practical because
Right.
I'm looking for somebody, Laura. Yeah, it's Laura.
Mhm.
I'm looking for somebody just to take the pain away. So you better deal with my pain point or get out of my way because I don't want anything to do with you. You
Well, and of
understand what
course,
I'm saying?
the other philosophy of shamanism is that I don't actually do any healing.
Well, I
It's
know
the
it doesn't
person,
matter. Lead me so I take care of this pain because I'm an old
right?
guy. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm sick of it. After a while, after about 40 or 50 years, you're sick of all the banter. You just want it dealt with. So don't mess with all this banter about it. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
I guess
So
the key
just
is I'm sure that with a podcast, you're going to draw some people in regardless of whether you're
yeah,
targeting pain points. And that's the
good.
great thing about this. That'll bring us
That's
right
good,
back
Dave.
in here.
That's good, Dave. I like it.
Awesome. Thank you. Love that. Sarah, and then back to Elizabeth. What have you started, Laura lad? I love that.
So I wanted to just, I don't know, show support. I was right there with you, like hardcore. I get it. I didn't want to focus on the pain either. It made me feel really, really, really icky because I just want people to feel the same way I do, which is the love and the light and all of the things. But you push people away sometimes if you don't also show them that you're embracing your own darkness as well. And it's that embracing the dark with the light to show them like I do get it. My life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. My life is dark and I've walked through my darkness and I can help you walk through yours as well because I'm not doing the work. I'm just supporting you while you do yours. So I just needed you to hear that.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Love that. Let's see. Dianara. And then +1, the next one.
That was so fast. I thought there was somebody before me. That was so fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess just to kind of piggyback on Sarah, Laureline, yeah, I mean, I think people just want someone they can relate to, and nobody's more relatable than someone that has gone through something versus someone that acts or portrays a picture because not everybody knows you. So they're just trying to, figure out who you are. So if, they don't really see that you have also gone through something, anything, I guess it would be hard to relate. And this is just, I guess, my mindset from like a buyer's point of view, but again, just supporting and piggybacking on Sarah.
Absolutely. This is very key. It's what you became successfully, that's your crop is your goal. For example, me as a guy, can I become a coach for women going through pregnancy? Can I? Sure, I can learn it, but I can never connect and resonate with women because I can never experience that myself. It's not congruent. So it has to be something that you yourself, one of the ways at least, overcome your, help others going through what, overcome what you're going through. But Roland, I understand what you're coming from. Absolutely. In my podcast, in my business, I only resort to pain marketing once I really get to know them. At first, I really want to see how I can inspire them, how I can, but then a time will come that you have to face the music, so to speak. What is the problem? Are we going to fix it? Or are we going to keep it under the rug? So to fix it, we have to really understand why the problem is here. For example, I deal with coaches. The problem I help them solve mostly is that they're not getting any leads or any clients. And why is that? It's because they lack clarity. No clarity, the message doesn't resonate with anyone. When the message doesn't resonate with anyone, it gets lost in transition. They're not getting any leads, no clients, no revenue, no business. No business, they're facing the threat of shutting down a business and looking for a job. So that's what we're looking at. We have to really make them understand why they're not getting any leads, at least from my perspective, mine. For me, the number one reason is because they lack clarity. Of course, there's businesses that this may or may not apply. And if for you it's a different business, I get that. I appreciate that. I respect that. But ultimately, at least from an overall perspective, the two main tasks that we as coaches, mentors, activators are facing is number one, educate them of the problem. Why is here in the first place? What's going to happen if they don't take any action? Once they understand that, then we present the solution. And then once we present the solution and then make them believe that they can achieve the outcome, the desired outcome that we're bringing them. That's the bottom line. Any other comments or questions on that? Let me check with the chat. The chat is blowing up.
Hey, I would like to add something that totally spaced one of the most transformative things for myself is that when you can see above positive and negative, because the intro that we give in Samadhi is it's not about positivity, it's not about negativity, it's about something much more raw, real, genuine, true, and the real you that you were born, designed, and destined to be in the greatest secret as you are right now. The reason why I say that is this: authenticity transcends positivity and negativity. When we talk about positivity, negativity, we confuse people. Because it's just like when you say love, what is their love language? So you could say love, but it's like, that means this to me. And you won't even be on the same paradigm. It's like you're in two different planets because you're trying to visit with them, not even speaking the language. So the reason why I share this, and thank you for your patience, Payman, because I didn't get to share this earlier, is that if it wasn't for the dark, what we call the dark, to me, darkness is ignorance. When you don't have ignorance, you cannot do what you would do before. Simple as that, right? So even when you say activating, it's really the word that comes from trigger. But when you say activator, it's not a trigger anymore. It's like an inspirer, right? So if we look at what we're doing with the wordplay, it's the same thing that we're doing with this positive negative, right? Because positive negative creates so much separation. It creates this, I'm positive, I'm negative. But if you see a drug addict, like if you would see the version of Michael 20 years ago, you would say, this guy's very toxic, this guy's very damaged, this guy's gone, right? But you wouldn't see the 20-year later Michael because it's like the version of ourselves that we don't want to see. So people that see their greater, like you, Payman, and other people here, it's kind of funny because I was having a conversation with my wife and this is the last thing that I'll say. Dreamers will believe in other dreamers, right? But the dreamers that don't awaken will not believe in awakening in other dreamers because they want them to dream their dream. And what I mean by that is when you say, no matter how much you invest in the dream, you'll never be happy, right? Because you invest in the dream and you're going for the car, you're going for the girls, you're going for the guys, whatever, right? So that chasing, it's never going to be fulfilling, right? It's until you awaken to the version that you feel that you want in that state, that you are that right now. When you reawaken to that, you don't have to dream. You're living awake in your dream, right? So that's an example of saying how, we could say that entrepreneurship is very good, but it's also very toxic to the people that are being used, like Layman was saying. Let me take advantage of your pain point, but just give you the surface level, but not help you really get to the core. And that's why you're being called Layman, or Laymian, is that because you can identify that, that means you're more aware of it than most. This is why I feel like I can see the mirror, is embrace that, because talking about negativity does not mean you're negative. This is the whole trap of wokeism, right? So when you talk about negativity, but you're loving it, you're celebrating the gratitude that this person is fortunate to come to you, that you could see them in a higher level that they can't, or somebody else won't see them that way. So when you could see them in the light of Christ or Buddha or God that they are, that transcends seeing them as negative or positive. So the brain is stuck in negative, positive. The heart is transcendental. It does not judge positive or negative. It simply sees you as the love that you are. So thank you.
You're welcome. Powerful, wise words. Thank you. One thing I want to say on that is that are there people that are gonna abuse and manipulate other people by playing on the pain point? Absolutely. But all of us in here, without exception, we're all enlightened souls. We don't do that. If any one of you were to do it, we would not be attracted, we would not be aligned spiritually or frequently or vibrationally, so we wouldn't be here. So it's not an issue for any of us in here. But I do get where you're coming from. Absolutely. Beautiful conversation. Love that. Let's move on. So here are the key elements to an irresistible GodFather offer. So in order to craft your irresistible offer, we need the following. One, again, goes back to your zone of genius from yesterday. What is the number one pain point you're solving and addressing, not just through your podcast, but ultimately to your offer, your business, and your business? Your podcast is going to be the marketing arm of your business. And then be very clear, very specific as to who is the person that you can help at the highest level. Your avatar, as I mentioned yesterday, your avatar is someone that identifies with you, relates with you, resonates with you, see themselves in you. They can, that resembles you as much as possible. Ultimately, your avatar is no other than yourself just a few steps ago. Build your business, build your offer, build your podcast the way you wished existed when you started. For example, my 5-day challenge and my academy, I've built it exactly the way I wished it. Just like all of you guys, I paid for programs, but as soon as I paid, I received an email saying, welcome, here's your videos. You have 55 videos each 2 hours. Good luck. If you have any questions, submit it to us. We'll get back to you before Christmas 2026. Sorry, 2020, 25. When you get on calls, you're student number 325. Good luck getting a word in. And don't even think about interacting directly, asking questions to the actual person behind the program. So that's why I keep my program short and numbers on purpose, to be able to give one-on-one attention to every single person. That's why whenever I teach anything, I make sure until the end that every single one of you has had your questions answered. Because I hated when I was in groups where I couldn't ask my question because the person behind didn't want to bother, and after 45 minutes I had to cut the call. That's the last thing I want. That's why my calls are longer, because I want to make sure you guys have all your questions answered till the very end. So I've built my program exactly the way I wished existed when I was started. And I want you guys to implement the same, because when you do that, you're going to be very, very, very aligned and being very authentic. And the person that really sees you, that is at your spot where you were just a few steps ago, they will really be attracted to you in a very magnetic way. Does that make sense, guys? Awesome. Good. And the last very important factor to create an irresistible GodFather offer, and that is a time frame. Your offer has to mention how long it's going to take for the person to reach the desired outcome. And I'm going to give you some examples out in the next one. So let's go one by one. Again, the pain point, that's going to be, there's no guessworks. It's all based on what we did yesterday. Your zone of genius. Your zone of genius is going to tell you what is the pain point you're gonna address and solve, for who, and so on and so forth. So again, the name of the game is clarity, laser focus clarity. The one thing I want you to remember is, don't try to be creative or whatever. Build your offer, again, just like I just mentioned the past 3 minutes. Build it the way you wished existed when you were starting. Build it for yourself. Because the people that can really align with you, they will find you. It's okay if you're not getting, say, 200 people per session or whatever. It's okay. It's not a numbers game. It's a relationship nurturing process. I'd much rather deal with a class of 15 to 17 people that really align, resonate. We're on the same page. That 70 people who couldn't care less, people just, interrupting and playing with the phone and all that. No. So again, it's all about clarity. Build it the way you'd build it basically for yourself. Yes, it's okay to be selfish in that case. You're being selfish for the greater good. Because by taking care of yourself, you're becoming the best version of yourself, and you're going to become very altruistic, you're going to become an asset, help others. So again, the more magnetic your message is, the more your audience will relate with you, identify with you, the more they can connect with you. And that ultimately is going to result in more, not only conversions, but deep connections. Deep connections. And deep connections bring trust, and trust opens doors, opportunities, wallets, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense, guys? Cool. So again, the next step is the avatar. And I just mentioned that the last 5 minutes. You have to be, the more specific you are, the more your message is going to resonate. The more it resonates, the more it's going to attract people. And you're going to be the exact opposite of why most people are struggling, is because they lack that clarity. Remember what we talked earlier? If you have a lack of clarity, that's going to cost you in real money, because you're not sure of what you're offering yourself, and result, you're not going to be taken seriously. You're going to be stuttering. So what do you do? How much is it? You're going to be unsure. But if you have laser focused clarity, you know exactly what you're doing. When they ask you how much is it, you will answer with confidence, and people will see that, will feel it, will respect that. So again, it's all about clarity. Clarity is the name of the game. This is the one thing I want you to remember for this entire 5-day challenge. The more specific you can be. If you want to win, you gotta have clarity. That's a non-negotiable of business, and even life, I would say. All right, so let's go move forward. Again, because once you really have that clarity, when your avatar hears, sees, or reads your message, he or she will feel, wow, he or she understands me. They speak my language. I can see myself in them. I can identify with them, and so on and so forth. For example, when I started first, my avatar was, I wanted to work with male entrepreneurs in the 40s and beyond, because I am in that category myself. But then within 3 months, I noticed that 95% of my clients are women. And that's why I love you. I love you, ladies. That doesn't mean I don't want to deal with guys, but numbers don't lie. When you take a look at your dashboard, look at your clients, your client that paid you, within 3 months, you will have a very good idea of who's your ideal avatar. Again, what we're doing here, we're starting somewhere, but in 90% of the cases, it's not going to be where you're going to end up. The market may drift you to another place. Always pay attention to the feedback you're getting from the market, especially from the people who are paying you. That's the only feedback that really matters. Not the person who says, oh, I'm interested. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe I'll do that in the next 6 months, or when the next super big blue moon is going to be around. No, that doesn't matter. What matters is the person was paying you with cold hard cash. And again, it's all about resonating, identifying, and ultimately, your ideal client, your ideal avatar is someone that looks as much as possible as you, and ultimately, your ultimate avatar is yourself. Enough with this, and let's move on. I really want you guys to really understand that. This is very key. Clear as mud? As we say in Canada, clear as mud? Anyways, let's go. Let's move forward. Now, here's the very next element that's going to be very, very powerful, if not the most powerful. And that's going to be having a quantifiable, and in some cases, it can even be a qualifiable, measurable end result, as I like to call it, the QMER. Because your audience wants to know three things. What is it for me? What do I have to do? And how long is it going to take me? We all want to know that. Am I right or right? So now let's take a look at that. Here's some example of real life quantifiable, measurable end results from some of my previous students and from the academy and also from the challenge. For example, the first two ones are mine. Launch your profitable podcast in 3 weeks. And I can add coaches, entrepreneurs. Let's launch your profitable podcast in 3 weeks. By podcast, I mean both podcast and YouTube channel. And then once it's launched, monetize your podcast and YouTube channel after 30 days of launch. And by monetize, I mean getting peanuts from Google and YouTube, but getting high-ticket clients without spamming, and even if you have no audience. Here's another very powerful one. And that's where most coaches get it wrong. They say, oh, let me help you become a six-figure coach or reach $10,000 in the first 30 days. That's beautiful, but for someone who's never done it, it's impossible. Instead, show them, hey, let me help you get your first paying client within 30 days by leveraging either LinkedIn or Facebook. Now, that's something that they know exactly what is it, what they need to do, and how long is it going to take them. That's something you can wrap their head around and say, hey, I can get one client in 30 days. If you show me the blueprint, the A to Z, step by step, I can follow that. Because again, remember what I said? Our second most important task is to make the prospect realize and believe that they can do it, and give them a taste of a small win as soon as possible. Because once they've mastered the steps to get that first paying client in the first 30 days, then all they have to do is replicate those steps to get client number 2, client number 3, client number 4, and that's when they reach whatever goal they may have, whether it's $10,000 a month or six-figure a year. In that case, it's much, much more realistic. That's something that even a complete newbie can realize, hey, I can do that. And they get excited. Once they get that first lead, oh, wow, the momentum takes over. They want to do it more. They get excited. See how it creates like a positive circle of, keep going. So that's what I'm talking about, guys. Or for example, if you're in the health, fitness, instead of saying, let me get you fit, no, that's very vague, very difficult. Instead, say, let me show you how to lose 10 pounds at one dress size in 30 days with only one exercise, 10 minutes a day. Now, that's something even the most busiest man or woman can do. One exercise, 10 minutes a day for 30 days. That's very realistically achievable. As opposed to, hey, let me help you get fit or get the six-pack in 30 days. That's impossible. Here's another one that one of my previous businesses with a friend of mine in e-commerce. When I returned back from Hong Kong in 2019, a friend of mine that I met there was a 7-figure Amazon seller. He made a post on Instagram asking, hey, I want some help to relaunch my Amazon course. And because there were billions of other courses on Amazon, I said, listen, let's not make it the same copycat. Instead, let's differentiate. Let's make it a fun challenge. Instead of showing someone that's complete newbie how to become, they're not going to be able to get six-figure, let alone, $10,000, let alone 6 figures. Instead, let's make it in a way that they can understand, basically implement the quantifiable, measurable end result to that. And what I came up with was, and he loved it, and that was, let's help them find, source, select, and launch their first product on Amazon within 90 days. Now, that's very specific. They know exactly what they have to do: find, source, select, and launch. How long? And we had literally A to Z daily action steps. Today you do that, tomorrow you do that. And at the end of 90 days, you have a product. Once you master the steps to launching that first product, let's replicate that to get product number 2, then product number 3. And within 6 to 9 months, Then they reach $10,000 or six figures. That was something that was very successful. We got in 2020, right during the pandemic. We upped 5 classes of complete newbies, launched the first product on Amazon within 90 to 120 days. That was amazing because it was very specific. People knew exactly what they were getting into, as opposed to, oh, let me help you become a 6-figure seller on Amazon, which would have been impossible because it would have been very confusing. So do you guys see how incredibly powerful it is having a quantifiable, measurable end result in your offer? Does that make sense? Let me see your hands if that makes sense. All right. Now, let me backtrack a little bit and we're going to brainstorm to create your offer. Remember what I said earlier? I want you guys to really memorize this quote because this is the foundation of a successful business. The client, the customer has to care about the problem before they care about the solution, you and your offer. Let me repeat that. Your client, your customer has to care about the problem before they care about the solution, you and offer. What does that mean? Remember what I said in a few slides ago? Our number one task as coaches, mentor, activators is to educate them as to what is a problem, why the problem is here in the first place, what's going to happen if they don't take any massive action towards fixing it. That's what it means. Because if I were to, for example, if you guys didn't know me and I were to message you and run my mouth saying, you need a podcast, you need a podcast, you need a podcast, you say, get out of my way because you don't understand it. But once you understand what podcasting can do and how, especially the way I'm doing it and I'm teaching it, the profitable way, you need to understand what problem you have. Once you understand the problem, then the solution becomes self-evident. This is a very powerful quote, guys. I want you to really always remember that. Your client has to care about the problem before they care about the solution, your offer, or you. So meaning, our number one job is to educate them because we don't know what we don't know. And that applies to every single one of us, myself included. So we need to do that first. That is very important. Next, and I just mentioned that. So 4 steps to educating your client. Again, be very specific. What is a problem? Reason why the problem exists in the first place. The consequence of the problem and the ultimate negative outcome as a result of inaction. For example, let's say you're my prospect, which you are. You're not getting any leads on your clients. My goal is to make you understand that, hey, clarity is incredibly important. Clarity is the name of the game. If you don't have clarity, your message is diluted, doesn't resonate with anyone. If your message doesn't connect with anyone, you're not going to get any traction, any leads. No leads, no sales, no sales, no revenue. No revenue, no business. No business, you're going to have to shut down your business and look for a job. That's a very real threat. So again, this is what we need to do. The number one task. Doesn't matter what most businesses you're doing, that applies to it. Does that make sense, guys?
Perfect.
All right. Does someone wants to say something? Okay. Here's the formula for creating your GodFather Irresistible Offer. There's 2 formulas. The first one is I help client solve problem with proven solution in a specific time period, guaranteed. And the second one is I help client achieve dream outcome without pain or fear in a specific time. For example, let me give you an example. I help coaches launch a profitable podcast and get leads on demand and clients organically in as little as 60 days. The other version can be I help coaches and authors get leads on demand and clients organically through their own podcast and YouTube channel, even if you have no audience, without spamming and without ad spend. These are 2 variations for my offer. Now let's hear yours, guys. Who wants to go first? I'll share the slides with you guys, so you have access to all the slides later tonight or tomorrow morning. So let's hear some your offers. Go ahead, Michael. Michael,
Well, because of yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, Michael.
Okay, so I'm going to change it up. So I have no idea what I'm going to say, but based on what you said here, I did have some aha moments. So I help, magical humans that are stuck in their head go from locked up to freed up and live a life that they've been not only dreaming, but they've been always living by design.
What do you mean? I love that. That's a great start. Be more specific. What do you mean magical humans? That's very vague.
Well, because we all have the spark of God, the universe within us. So
Yes.
I help, like we're all manifesting this life. So magic is already now. So I help people that are already crafting their magic consciously realize the magic that they are.
Okay.
But I'm still working on how to deliver that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's very woo, but I mean, I don't want to go too much into the woo because I really see it as wow. But yeah, I say if you're not willing to live a woo life, you'll never live a wow life.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's
Thank
what I'm
you.
working on.
One thing I want to say, I should have mentioned earlier. Imagine that we are at an elevator. We have 3 to 5 seconds. I ask you, what do you do? Keep it short, not like a 5-minute monologue. Short, 1 or 2 sentences. Elizabeth, then Dianara, then the 2 Davids. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
You want me to tell you what I do?
Yes, please.
Or did you want me to do that message thing?
Yeah, share your messaging. Imagine where I'm meeting you at an elevator. Say, what do you do, Elizabeth? 1 or 2.
Yeah. So the time period thing is something I've got to think about, but I help heart-centered women attract their divine partner without the rejection of social dating.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually talk about my methodologies, but the time period thing is an interesting one because I have supported women to meet a beautiful partner. In the 3 months. Yeah. So actually I can say 3 months because I have had 2 people do that.
Here's another tip. Instead of saying within, it's better and safer to say in as little as.
In as little as. Like
from
that.
a legal perspective that protects you in case of, litigation and all that.
Yeah.
And
I
as
love
little
that.
as. This way it really gives them an idea, but also protects you. And I also change on all of my messaging from within to in as little as. Because you control what you deliver, but you can't control what the prospect is going to do. That's outside.
Depending on where they're in the journey, right?
Exactly. So I love that. So you can say, for example, I help, what was it again? Single women or no?
Heart-centered women.
Heart-centered women find their dream partners in as little as 90 days.
Attract their dream partner or their divine partner without the rejection of social dating.
In as little as 90 days. Love that. Perfect. Amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Write in the chat and let's use that as an example, as a model. Dianara.
Okay.
Next.
Yeah, Elizabeth, that was wonderful. So, like I said yesterday, I'm probably the least expertise person here. But I do have my 2 podcasts, which kind of go with the same person, but not in the same form. So I am a digital marketer, and I really do focus on getting moms like myself who have little time to do absolutely anything, just a way of earning extra income, whether that's affiliates, anything that they can do online. I found it through podcasting and live guest hosting, but that's I guess one of the things I do, and the other one is definitely again related to moms and finding just our confidence again. Because as a mom, you kind of lose yourself. Not everyone, but I know I did. So I just wanted to throw it out there.
Love that.
I guess
Thank
I'm
you.
still brainstorming it. I
Yes.
don't have a timeline. Again, I don't have any expertise other than just my experience. And I guess that's how I would explain it. I don't know.
You know what came to mind when I was listening to you? For your offer, I help busy mompreneurs
Yeah, I love that.
make their first dollar online in as little as 30 days. That could be an amazing, amazing offer.
Love that. Love
Or
that.
first
Yeah.
sale, or the first sale. If
Yeah.
you're targeting them, say affiliate marketing or e-commerce, make the first dollar.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Because
welcome. Write it down, write it down.
we all want the big dollars, of course, but
To get to the big dollar, you have to get
yeah,
those
start.
small
Exactly.
Because if you tell them,
Thank you.
I'm going to show you to become a six-figure, even make $10,000 for someone who's never done it, it's impossible. You're going to overwhelm them.
Yeah.
Instead, show them, hey, let me show you how to get your first paying client, your first sale, your first lead, your first dollar in as little as 7, 10, 20, 30 days by
Yeah.
leveraging only. If you want to go a bit deeper and make your offer even more solid, you could go with, I help busy mompreneurs get the first paying client in as little as 30 days by leveraging the tremendous power of LinkedIn or Facebook, something like that.
Love that.
It would be a beautiful offer. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Writing it down right now. Thank you.
Cool. It is recorded, so you can watch it again. Okay. David from Florida, and then David from Toronto. Great. What happens? David. Go ahead, David. Where did you go? David Hobley. Oh, did he leave? Okay, David.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted. Are you ready?
Go ahead, brother.
All right, sorry about this. I can't remember if I said this in front of this group or the other group, but anyway, here we go. I'm still trying to refine this, so maybe this will help.
Okay.
I am the only chief solutionist and one of two, including JMA, networking innovators with insider networking, helping you to connect to clients, convey your message, and convert your connections into clients by helping you to transform your networking experience and grow your business with heart-centered connections.
Love that. Imagine we're at an elevator, or imagine, let's say you're me and I'm you, and I were to tell you that. What would be your reaction?
It's a little long.
A little long.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
It's like a soup. Well,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Translate that to me in layman's
Yep.
terms.
I'm trying to shorten it.
So again, use this structure, this framework. Imagine you're at an elevator and you have 3 to 5 seconds.
Actually, I just thought of a way. Yeah.
I help X, your avatar, achieve dream outcome with proven solution in as little as, that's it. Or if you want to use the without, for example, Jay's offers, I help coaches master sales without being close more sales without being salesy or sleazy, something like that. So implement that for your offer.
Yeah.
Again, 3 to 5
you.
seconds. Imagine an elevator. You just meet someone. Hey, what do you do? They don't have time
Exactly.
for a 5-minute monologue.
Right.
And keep it simple. Keep it short. Don't use big words. You know, there was a study made that, and at times you have to dumb down your words. Use words at a third of at most 5 grade level.
Yes. Thank you.
Easy, short words. Does that make sense, brother?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. David Holmes, your turn, my friend.
All right. Well, David, I have to appreciate you. You do have a script, at least as a start. It's better than what I'm doing right now. If I was stuck in an elevator, I would just start complaining because, you know what? I said, look at all you guys. My product is to help anybody from 55 to 75-year-old that has been laid off, no job, don't feel nobody recognizes you for all your work experience, and needs to get into something online but doesn't know how to do it. I can't understand all the technical stuff, and it just throwing my arms up. And you want something, I got it for you. That's it.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. And how can you put yourself, imagine in this scenario, you stuck with me in an elevator. I say,
Oh no, you gotta be kidding! I'd shoot myself.
let's say, well, they're like, they will say, what do you do? 3 seconds. Come on. I'm not shooting.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, Pittman. I'm sorry. Apologize.
Use one of those two frameworks and just plug in your information. Let's hear it.
What do you mean use some of those two frameworks?
For
What do you
example,
mean?
I help X with your avatar solve what problem, achieve what dream outcome.
Okay, I help seniors that seem at the end of the ropes because the government doesn't pay them enough to live, to get some extra income where they can feel their self-worth again and make some money to support themselves to the end of their life.
Okay, beautiful. And what about the time frame? How long is it going to take them to get that result?
Well, it's not quick overnight. It's 1 to 2, 3 years.
Oh, might want to condense that because 3 years, that's
What, 60? I'm 68, so if I could do it in the next 2, 3 years, I'd be happy. My father died at 92 and he had to work for 89.
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's the reality of the seniors. We have a seniors group at our house every Sunday through my mother's 92. And that's the reality of what's going on with seniors.
Mhm.
And they can do this with the automation we have in systems. They don't have to know everything, but they need something simply dumbed down. So that's
You know
what
what?
I have to offer.
You know what came to me as
Sorry.
a mini download thing that you could teach seniors to learn AI, how to implement AI into the business, into their lives, something like that.
Yes,
Specific
for
and
sure.
as say 30 days, 1 hour a day.
Okay.
That could be a
Okay.
very valuable offer.
Good idea.
Yeah,
Thank you.
make it happen.
All right.
I'm cheering for you. All right, who else? Oh, Sarah, go ahead. Sorry.
So I help overwhelmed, frustrated, and unheard parents transform every relationship in their life into ones they've been begging for with my proven process of unapologetic relationship transformation.
Love that. That's a great start.
Very good.
We can shorten it, and we
I
need to
know.
have the time frame.
I don't feel comfortable with a time frame.
Is this a brand new offer? You've been offering that
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, I have clients that have gone through it, but to actually give a time frame on what I do, I can't guarantee that because it's them ultimately. If they hit a block or hit a shadow that they don't want to do, I don't want to say like I can do this because it's not me, it's them.
If someone is really committed, really coachable, and an action taker, realistically, how long will it take them to get that result?
Well, with the things that I'm teaching, the relationships could take a while to transform, but the relationship that transforms that does that is the one with themselves. So they're going to feel better. So I know that like they're going to get that. But realistically, that the relationship on the outside of them is going to take time
So
because the work is on them.
what is the one thing they need to fix or take care of or whatever that's going to allow them to improve their relationship with them? Let's even narrow that even further.
Emotional regulation, understanding what their emotions are doing to them.
Okay.
And non-attachment, because the expectations through attachments to the people around us are the things that are causing every relationship issue around us.
Mm.
So I focus on those two keys, those 2 points. And once they nail those for themselves and understand how they're coming across, why they're coming across, and what they're trying to control, that they didn't even realize they were trying to control through their love, that's what transforms. But that takes time.
Sarah, let me ask you a question, Sarah.
Yeah.
Is that something that you personally had to overcome?
Oh, yeah. And it's taken me 6 years.
So which part you had to overcome, and which was the most difficult, painful, and challenging part that you had to overcome yourself?
The emotional regulation
All right. So,
and the attachments, both of them combined.
but between attachment and what was the other one? Emotional, which one was the most painful for you to master, to overcome? Which one was
Probably the attachments.
attachment? Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend is maybe build your offer around the attachment first. Remember what I always say? The number one pain point first. Pain point number two can be either a bonus into your program or a beautiful upsell.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because again, remember what I said? The name of the game is laser focus clarity. If you go at them with all of that, you're going to overwhelm them. How am I going to do? Doing what? Can I really do it? Remember what I said? Your number one goal is to educate them about the problem. Number two, make them believe that they can achieve the results. Give them a small win as soon as possible. What would be a small win that you can deliver in as little as 30 to 60 days? I want to leave you with that.
Right.
Brainstorm, book a time for next week. I invite all of you guys, book a time with me for next week. We can do a quick brainstorming and see how we can implement a proper podcast for your business,
Okay.
regardless
Thank
of
you.
what level your business may be. Very welcome. Katana, go ahead, champ.
Yes, I refined mine down to I help female survivors of toxic trauma experience joy and peace within 30 days through transformational art and wellness strategies.
That's a solid word. What does that mean? I love it, but what does that mean in a concrete layman's term?
You'd have to go to my website to get the definition. I wrote it down, but it's a process of going through the traumatic. It's a process. So I don't know.
You know what I said to Sarah?
Describe it on the website though, huh?
You know what I said to Sarah? The same thinking process applies to you. Let me find the right word. I identified that one thing that's gonna get them that first taste of a win. The one thing that is the most important thing that they need to conquer to get on the right track, get a taste of win, so they can start believing, and momentum takes over, so they can believe in that and keep the process. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Book a time with me.
I've never done that. No.
Oh no, we never had a chat. No. 30 minutes, not 3 hours, okay? I'm joking. But seriously, I want you to really laser in on what specifically. Imagine, that's what I want all of you guys to imagine. Imagine you're at a party or an event or an elevator, you meet someone, they ask you, hey, what do you do? And you have 3 to 5 seconds. You don't have time for a monologue or use simple language, clear, specific. Remember the key elements of a quantifiable, measurable end result. What is it? For who is it? Doing what? And how long? Just use this framework right here. You have 2 ways. One, with a dream outcome. Another one was without. Just screenshot the screen and then print it and then work on that. Does that make sense? You've got a good foundation, Katana. I just need to tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would break that one down, but yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Can anyone pitch and try to help Katana in here? Let's all brainstorm together. Say it again one more time.
I help female survivors of toxic trauma experience joy and peace within 30 days through transformational art and wellness strategies.
I love 90% of what you said, except the last part. with transformational art and that. What
But
is that?
that's the process. That's the program they go. That's what they go through to
Okay.
get joy and peace.
Okay. Okay.
Can you post that in the chat?
Yes.
Sure.
Katana, could you maybe explain what that is, or what they examples of what they will do during that process? Maybe for us that don't understand, can you have an idea?
Yeah. See, it's the transformational art
Give
is
me
a
30 seconds. There's someone at the door. You guys keep talking. I'll be right back. Okay. 30 seconds.
okay. We're gonna hold the convo. Yeah.
Keep talking.
I did write out the process. I started to write out what it is, but I mean it's still it's a process. So and wellness strategies would be, you know, ways of coping with everyday things so that the everyday things don't blow you up all the time. You know, just helping you get through there's a lot of little processes, and that's where I wouldn't know how to break that down into anything smaller.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Other than this.
Yeah, I guess maybe it would just be hard for someone to understand or grasp what they're getting themselves into, you know, because all you hear is the big words. But of course, you could do your own kind of like
Well, I
research.
figure if I'm pitching, you know, if I'm talking about this from my podcast, I'm going to be getting more than that anyway, right? And it's going to be on my podcast page. There will be a video that explains it all. So I feel like there's a lot of foundation that goes with it. So that's why okay.
Did I miss anything? Get that out. Was that helpful?
Not, yeah, it's definitely helpful.
Good, good, good. See, I love that. Teamwork. Michael, what's your offer?
Yeah, I'm in and out because my wife is having an emergency, so excuse me. One thing that, which I updated you earlier, payment. One thing that I wanted to share is from what I heard, because I've had this challenge as well, because I use the word alchemy. This transformation, you could see it as a, like you say, through art, a transformation through art is unleashing the creative faculties of a human, I don't know, even maybe that's very fairy, but because people can relate to creativity instead of transformation. So when you're creative, you must be transformative. You can't be creative if you're not being transformative because you're in your analytical, right? So when you're creative, you unleash the transformative soup of the magic of transformation. So I don't know if that helps, but creative, I think, is more. I mean, creative doesn't really talk about changing, but to be creative, you're tapping into solution states of consciousness to be creative. If you're in problem, you can't be creative because you can't even think, right? So just something maybe that might help.
Love that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We all appreciate that, brother. Quickly, what's your offer, Michael? Using this framework, one sentence.
I help you go from locked up. I help entrepreneurs go from locked up to freed up so they can experience 10 seconds of silence in 30 days or less. And I know that sounds like 10 seconds of silence, but trust me, when people say that they can get a couple of seconds of silence, true, pure, authentic silence, I've done it again and again and again. Well, I haven't done it. Just like Sarah says, the soul does it. So, I help people go from locked up to freed up to experience 10 seconds of silence in 30 days or less.
Okay, beautiful.
Maybe that's a little airy fairy, so you can help me out with that. I'll be scheduling a call with you, Payment, because
yes, please, next week. Let's do that next week. Yes, awesome. David, go ahead, brother. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't sure which David. Sorry about that. So I kind of revamped mine. Does everybody else gone through theirs? Is it okay to say my new one?
Go ahead.
All right. So we help you to transform your networking experience by better connecting with clients, conveying your message, and converting your connections into heart-centered clients to boost your business.
Say it again slowly. Why do you use
We-
we instead of I?
Because it's Jay and I, we're a team, and we are going to, most of the time, we'll be presenting this as a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say it again slow.
So we help you to transform your networking experience by better connecting with clients, conveying your message, and converting your connections into heart-centered clients to boost your business.
What about the time frame?
Yeah, I didn't put that in there yet. Good. It's kind of hard to, yeah, it's hard to quantify that with what we're doing.
Is
But
this a
yeah,
brand new
I
offer?
definitely need to figure out a way.
Is
What's
this
that?
Is this a brand new offer?
It's for our networking to get people to engage in our networking experiences.
So how long do you think within?
We'll have another offer that we'll be designing one for our 997 offer, our entry level as well,
Okay.
but that's another topic.
I want you also to add the time frame. Take a good guesstimate. How long would it take for someone who's committed, coachable, and an action taker? Because that's your ideal client.
Yeah, that kind of falls into our program. This one is just for our getting people to come to our networking events. But yeah, I get you.
Okay. So you know what to do,
Yeah.
brother. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Good
Very
point.
welcome. Did all of you guys share your offer? If you haven't, please do so. I want to make sure everybody takes as a chance to share theirs. Because this is very important, guys. Who hasn't shared theirs yet? Let me take a look at the screen. Was here. Jim, what's yours, brother?
I don't have an offer yet. I'm still flogging around with my ideal client. So,
What is it that you want to, what is your business in a nutshell?
oh, my business in a nutshell is obviously coaching. So, it's trying to find what do I want to coach and what area do I want. I'm getting close, but I don't have. It's really impossible to make an offer on something you don't have
Yes.
clarified, you know?
Did
So
you go to the steps from yesterday on identifying your zone of genius?
we did some of that, yeah, last night after the meeting and stuff.
Okay.
And I put down also that I was gonna, the special skills you have, etc.
Mhm.
And I was gonna ask my children for it, so to get their feedback, just widen circle of those who've been around me most of my life and see what they say.
Okay.
And yeah, take it from there.
Awesome. And any questions? I'm here. Book a time for next week for both of you guys with me. And let's
Okay.
get it done. Okay.
I
Cool.
do have a question. I went to your Facebook.
Sure.
How do you find the recordings like from day one,
I
for
will
example?
tomorrow. It's all on the Facebook group for the challenge, and tomorrow I will compile all of them under one document, Google document, and I will share it inside the Facebook group so you can all guys look at the video replays, the expert guest talks, as well as the slides, all on the one sheet, so you can really easily access that. I'll do that for you tomorrow, guys. If not tomorrow, I'll do it on Saturday,
Okay.
guaranteed, without fault.
Okay. Sounds
Awesome. Thank you.
very good.
Thank you. Crazy brother, you've been very quiet. What's going on? What's your offer?
I don't currently have an offer.
What do you want to activate?
No, it's just pitching an idea to Katana
Oh,
with her offer. Honestly, I'm listening to what everyone's saying. I'm learning a lot. There's been a lot of information that has been shared by yourself, which is great. A lot of gems, as well as conversations had with Laurel Laurel Ann and everyone that contributed to what she shared. So right now, I'm currently just processing all
mhm.
of that and intentionally not sharing my offer.
Ooh. And when are you going to intentionally share them with us?
I might do it on a Facebook group. I might do it on one-on-one calls. I already have some books, so I'm excited about that.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Any question? I'm here for you, brother. I'm cheering for you.
I know, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, cool. Thank you. Shani, you've been also very quiet. What's going on?
Just listening.
Okay. What's your offer?
No, I wrote mine down. So I help women awaken deeper levels of love, connection, and pleasure in their lives in as little as 60 days.
Love that. Say it slowly.
Sorry, I help women awaken deeper levels of love, connection, and pleasure in their lives in as little as 60 days.
And love that. Can you go one level deeper? What kind of women?
What kind of women?
Can you add maybe
Okay.
age category or even industry or anything, or that's not relevant for you?
Okay. Not really relevant, I don't think. I think all women
I
can
agree.
have expand in this area. It's not doesn't need to be, if
What
that makes sense.
what women can benefit the most? And when I say women, I mean generally speaking.
Okay.
What women can benefit the most from what you're teaching? Sure, every woman can benefit from it, but what woman can benefit the most?
Okay. Mm, I'll have a think about it.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
very
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
Very welcome. And share your findings inside the Facebook group, and also book a time with on my calendar for next week.
Yes.
Brainstorm together and see how we can implement
Yes.
a profitable podcast and YouTube channel for your business.
Amazing. Thank you.
Very welcome. Anyone else? Let me go to the list here. Oh, Ramen, brother, you've been very quiet too.
Yeah, I'm absorbing.
I hope you're not sleeping.
No, I'm not. Actually, I don't have any offers because I don't have any products yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your zone of genius? Remember what we talked about yesterday, and I mean all week, but specifically yesterday. What your zone of genius?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about it even today morning when I went for a walk. Uh, mm, so actually, the one that I mentioned yesterday in the call as well. I'm very when I'm gonna do something, I'm very particular about to do it very well, like I wanted to do it as perfect as I can.
Mm.
So yeah, and that's me. That's why I'm here right now, because I'm gonna learn. And actually, I have a product in mind, which it's gonna be ready for maybe another few months, maybe 9 to 12 months. But I'm gonna build my audience from now.
Are you talking about your app?
Yeah, I'm talking about that app. I think before we talk about it when we had a call earlier a few weeks back. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm gonna basically uh create something, means I'm gonna have that foundation right now. I'm gonna build my audience, and then later on, maybe after a year or a year and a half, then I sell it to my audience. So but at the moment I have no offers, nothing.
No worries, brother. Just soak in information, learn from others, get inspired, and looking forward to meeting you in person this weekend.
Definitely, yeah. I will text you maybe tomorrow.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay,
You
sure.
gotta buy me lunch, okay?
Okay, sure. All the way up coming. Of course. Why not?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No,
We'll see.
definitely.
No, we'll see. All right, brother. I'm here for you. Any question, ask me, and I'll be happy to help you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Who hasn't shared their offer yet? Anyone? Let me
I have an idea for Katana if everybody's already done.
please go ahead.
All right. So it's two quick ones. One, is if she's talking to somebody she already knows is traumatized, which I'm assuming she runs into a lot in her field. So the first one begins like that. So this one, I'm going to be speaking directly to you, Katana, as if, well, as you had disclosed that you were traumatized. How would it change your life if within 30 days I can help you to experience true joy and peace as if you were a safe, happy child with my transformational strategies?
I love that. Woo.
Okay. And then the next one is if the people are wanting to know what she does, but may not be a person like that. I help female survivors of toxic trauma to experience true joy and peace like a safe, happy child with my transformational strategies.
Mm.
Would you like those? I'll send them to you.
Please, that's
Hope that
amazing.
helps.
God.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
See, Katana, you're blessed, you're loved, and you're supported big time.
There you go. They're in the chat.
Well, the love is equally shared. So thank you all.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love this teamwork at its finest. Is Laurelan still here? I would love to hear hers. No, I think she's not here anymore. Let me look once again at the
She had to leave.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anyone else wants to share theirs before we move on? Maybe tweak it, the updated version, once, twice. All right, let's move on then. And also share yours inside the Facebook group so we can all, give our feedback and all that, and also to see, to get inspired and all that. Here's some other real life examples of GodFather offers from past students and alumni and clients of my academy. These are real life examples. Very specific. I help female executive 40 plus years old experience and a greater health, reverse diabetes without drugs and expensive medical bills. That's very specific. And it can be for male executive, whatever. I help male entrepreneurs in the 40s and 50s get the first paying client within 30 days using the power of Facebook groups or LinkedIn or whatever. That's very specific. I help busy moms in the 30s lose one dress size in 30 days without going to the gym with only 5-minute exercise per day. How many of you ladies would love that? I'm not a lady, but I would love to lose one dress size, So I help single dads find, select, source, and launch the first product on Amazon within 90 days. It can easily be I help single moms, or mompreneurs, dadpreneurs, whatever. Here's another good one, a great one actually. I help introverted entrepreneurs gain unshakable confidence and land a TEDx talk without any presentation experience in as little as 30 days. And I also invite you guys, especially for legal stuff, not to use within, but instead in as little as. Do you guys see that? How powerful that is? Because if you use within, it kind of binds you to it. Hey, if I don't get resolved in 30 days, you're a scam. Give me my money. But if you do it in as little as, that gives you more leeway, protects you. Because again, yes, I have full confidence in what I'm doing, but I can't control what you're gonna do with it. I don't know how motivated you are, how good is your offer, how good is how good are you, at talking, at closing, and so on and so forth. That's beyond my control. So use in as little as. So look at these and get inspired by that and just plug in your information. This is my homework, if I may, for this weekend, for all of you. And even for myself as well, because I can always improve my offer as well. All right. So again, here's my offer and a detail. This is actually what Jay, my coach, and our coach, some of us helped me create it on one of the live calls like a few weeks ago. I help authors and coaches with no audience struggling to get leads, launch a profitable podcast to get leads on demand and clients organically. He came up with a cute name with a payment profitable podcast system in as little as 60 days. Don't mind the last line. That's exactly what Jay mentioned verbatim on that call. I don't know if you remember that, David, but it was a few weeks ago. We had a good laugh. So again, something like that, 1 or 2 sentences at most that you can say confidently in 3 to 5 seconds. Imagine in an elevator, or at a party, at an event. 3 to 5 seconds, not a 5-minute monologue. And you want to keep it in a way that's short, but also intriguing, because again, remember what I said a couple of days ago? The most valuable currency in the world of business is attention. For example, as you guys know, I'm an outgoing guy. I love going to events, especially in Asia. And when people ask me, so what do you do? My answer is not, I'm a podcaster, I'm a publisher, I'm an author, I'm a public speaker, none of that. My answer is, I'm a collector. Oh, what do you collect? I collect success stories, testimonials. What do you mean? Because if I were to answer with just podcaster, author, and so on and so forth, I would get boxed right away. And the person can't wait to either end the conversation or change the topic. End of conversation. But instead, here's a very powerful video from Jim Rohn. I'm going to share with you guys in the group. I shared an academy in July for my UK class. It's a 20-minute video, incredibly powerful, but I'm going to summarize it to you in 2 sentences. Don't focus on the title of what you do. Focus on the impact, on the transformation. For example, let's say you sell insurance. Don't say I'm an insurance broker. Say, hey, I make sure my clients sleep at peace at night. Oh, what do you mean? Well, I help them get their financial state in orders. What does that mean? Because when you get it that way, you focus on the impact. You're opening the door, not only for meaningful conversations, but for real deep connections. You get the real attention. Does it make sense, guys? Okay. So again, we've done that. Let's create your irresistible offer. So again, always remember that. Quantifiable, measurable, end result. Meaning, what is it they're going to get by doing what, and how long is it going to take? These are the 3 non-negotiable factors that your offer must include. So when your prospect sees or reads or hears the offer, he or she will have just one question in their mind. What's the next step? How do I start? As opposed to, what does he mean? What does she mean? What do I do? Why? And if it's too confusing, guess what? A confused mind doesn't take any action. They will just leave your page, never to be seen again. All right. Well done. We completed day 4. One more to go. I will share my Calendly. Book a time with me for next week. And let's have some one-on-one brainstorming and seeing how we can implement having a profitable podcast. And by podcast, I mean both a podcast and a YouTube channel for your business. So you can start getting leads on demand, even if you have no audience, and without spamming, in as little as 60 days from starting from scratch. Because when I started, I had no audience. Absolutely none. So here's a sneak peek about tomorrow. We're going to put everything together. I'm going to share with you my proven blueprint to a path to leads on demand and clients organically. We're going to go back again to our zone of genius. So far, we've done identify your zone of genius. What is the pain point you're solving? For who? We built crafted your offer. The next logical step is, where is your ideal avatar hanging out the most? And simply putting yourself in front of them. Very simple. There's no guesswork involved. We're going to be mapping your first 5, 10, 20, and 100 billion episodes moving forward. It's the same process. And then once you put it together, you'll be able to get literally clients on leads on demand right away and clients organically in as little as 30 days from the moment your podcast is launched. And tomorrow we'll have another amazing guest, expert speaker, my good friend, alumni of the first academy. She was with Katana back in December of 2021. Remember that? And she's also, again, my publisher, her publisher, and a dear friend as well. She's going to do a talk tomorrow on how to leverage books to further elevate your visibility, your leadership, and your credibility, and all that. Because a podcast, profitable podcast, and a book, that's the ultimate VIP combo. We call it visibility, impact, and profit. Because nothing screams expertise, leadership, and authority than a book. I've done 4 of those. I use my books as my business card. When I go to events, when people say, "Hey, nice to meet you, can I have your business card?" I just smile, reach in my back, say, "I don't have this business card, but here's my book." Guys, you should see the reaction. "What? You have a book?" Not because nothing screams expertise, leadership, and authority than a book. You having a book is going to automatically elevate you in their mind as being seen as an expert, an authority, and a leader. And also, let's face it, business cards in 99% of the cases, they end up in the bin. And the ones you do keep after a day or two, you have no idea who was that from. But a book, nobody's gonna throw that away. Sure, it might sit on someone's table or desk or whatever on the shelf for a while, but one day they'll pick it up. Oh, who's that guy? Who's that girl? Oh, I remember that. You're not gonna get rich selling your books unless you have a massive existing audience. But your book is gonna get you a lot of business. I've used my book as the best business card because, again, a book screams expertise, leadership. What if you were to write a book, for example, you, Shani, a book on how to help women to transcend and attain the ultimate level of pleasure or something, you know what I mean? Something like that. And you use that as your business card, that's gonna close the deals for you without even trying. And that applies to all of you guys, regardless of what you're doing. And I'm actually working myself on writing a book on leveraging podcasting for business. That's coming on what I'm working on. So again, that's going to be for tomorrow. That's Mary, for those of you who don't know her. Very sweet lady. Oh, she's a fire. If you think I'm fire, she's even more fire. When she stops, especially when both of us on the same floor, good luck shutting us up. We don't stop. That's why we get along so well. You know Katana, right? Anyways, guys, any questions before we call it a night? And I'm sorry, I did mention to Elizabeth earlier that I will share the blueprint on how to launch a podcast in 3 steps. I'll share it inside the group, if not tomorrow, by Saturday at the latest. Because I know it's late. I haven't had dinner yet. Some of us need to go to La La Land. And so, yeah, so guys, any last minute parting questions, tips, feedback, compliments? Bring them on.
Yes, fantastic session. Thank you.
Thank you. Especially, I love some compliments about my hair.
Hey, I'm right behind you, buddy.
No, I'm joking. So, guys, any last minute questions about what we covered tonight? Because tonight and yesterday are incredibly powerful, but probably the most powerful of the entire challenge.
Yes, I agree with that. Last night and today was great. Just want to tell you that.
So does that mean the first 2 days were crap?
I missed the first day completely because of technical difficulties. So,
Why were you nodding? Does that mean that the first 2 days were crap? Get the hell out of here. I'm just joking. I'm joking. No. Thank you,
well,
guys.
if
I
you
love
want
you
to be
guys.
perfectly honest.
What? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Sorry.
Let me check with the chat to see if there's anything that needs to be. Oh, guys, also save the chat because there's some gold in the chat, especially Katana, because David was gracious enough to write basically your offer. Copy that. And so if you have no more questions, guys, let's call it a night, a day for those of you in Australia. And I see you guys. Oh, and tomorrow, we starting early tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. And for you guys in Australia, it's going to be 9 a.m. So 2 hours earlier, please, because I have a family function that I cannot miss. Thank you so much for your understanding. Love you guys. God bless. See you tomorrow. Take care.
All right, good night. Bye.
Oh, sorry.
Night.
You raised your hand, brother. You have something to say?
Yeah, but I was also going to say bye. No, I just wanted to offer something as I was from processing, and I sent another option for Sarah. Something that's been helpful for myself and clients that I've worked with is to, like you were saying today, focus on the pleasure. So there's a pain point, you identify it. So that could be frustration, that could be overwhelm, that could be emotional trauma. So that's a pain point. Educate them on the process that we're going to offer them is the educational piece, right? But in your elevator pitch, the emotion that they're feeling, the emotion that they want to feel, or the reality that they want to feel, and that's also very helpful. So it's the pain emotion that they're feeling and frustrated. I don't know how to get rid of this. I don't know how to get out of this cycle, out of this loop. And then the pleasure that they hope to feel, that they desire to feel, but they're stuck and they don't know how. That could be very helpful when you're crafting your offer and to help condense and shorten it too. Just some gems I want to drop for everyone in the group.
Thank you, brother. Love that.
I
Very
appreciate that.
awesome, guys. See you tonight. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Love you all. God bless. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.